Good morning, everyone. I didn't get the required pulse. I think the coffee or the tea. Yes, that's good. So once again, good morning, everyone, and it gives me pleasure to host this particular panel discussion. And according to me, the topic is very, very interesting. At least it's near to my heart because I have been working in this industry for more than 30 years or so. And this particular topic of shop floor, then cloud, digitalization, automation is always near and dear to my heart. So getting right on the topic is bridging the cloud to shop floor and scaling innovation. So in the last 1.5 year, we all have witnessed the unprecedented times, and we all have come out of that. And we as IT leaders, I would say that have successfully managed to provide the required services to our business and come out of that situation. In the recent, we all have seen, witnessed the movement of various applications to the cloud, whether it is a public cloud or the private cloud or the hybrid cloud. And also coupled with this, the important factor is the digitalization and automation that has gone into the industry. So I remember one of the stalwarts saying the amount of digitalization that had never gone in last 10 years has almost gone in just 1.5 to 2 years. So that's the amount of speed and the digitalization projects that we have witnessed over the industry. So having said that context, let me jump directly to the topic and let me get the views of these two young friends, my friends I can say, who are very stalwarts in this industry. So coming to the first question, and that is, I would request Jayant to take it. The question is, what are the steps that an IT leader should take to bridge the gap? I would say bridge the gap because we all, majority of people are from the manufacturing industry. So we do a lot of automation on the shop floor. So taking the shop floor applications, machines and data and push it to the cloud, process it over there, do the analytics and do the slash and dashing of that. And again, give it back to the business leaders to have insightful decisions. So the question is, Jayant, what are the steps that our IT leaders should take to bridge this gap between the shop floor machines and that of the cloud as such? So what are your views on that?
Good morning. I am Jayant Nagar, Group CTO and VP IT for Hindustan Platinum. We are in various business, actually we are in precious metal, refinery services, electrical contacts. So we have different 5 type of business. Recently, we have acquired ABB US company also, and we are doing a lot of digitalization, being a manufacturing company. So coming back to the question, actually there are multiple ways where we can bridge the gap between the manufacturing and what the system and the new advanced technology is available. So how to bridge gap is always a challenge to the CTO and CIO in any industry. It doesn't mean only in manufacturing. What process we follow to bridge that gap is understand the pain area of each and every department, each and every function, go to the shop floor, understand the business process, particularly what is the manufacturing process, what they are doing, where is the scope for digitalization, what level of digitalization. Sometimes it may be just a ERP process, which we need to automate by using the RPA concept. Sometimes there is a machine which is continuously producing certain product.
Correct.
And we need to see, can I connect it with the PLC automation and extract that data from analog to digital and subsequently to the MES.
Yes.
So every operation we need to study, create a as-is document for that, then prepare a roadmap that is to be document, and then create a gap list. So this is the way actually we have created a blueprint document with which we emerge out where is the scope, how many projects we can implement. Once we come out with the laundry list of project, what is the cost involved in that, what are the business benefit we are going to take out of this project. So first, instead of jumping to the conclusion while bridging the gap between the manufacturing requirement and any advanced technology, I think we must study it, sit with the function people, take their pain as an opportunity for the IT team, create the blueprint document, and then work out which particular solution is going to suit where. Yes. So this is the strategy which we followed in our industry.
Yeah, good to hear that, Jayant. And I will always agree that this is the methodological way of taking the thoughts process to the project and project planning and then project execution. And nowadays we are seeing that lot many shop floor machines are getting connected. The lot of data from the shop floor machines is being pushed to the cloud, and it is analyzed, and then we get the insightful. Jen, at the same time, a leading question comes to my mind. While you're preparing this kind of blueprint and as is to be situation, what, according to you, is the support or the buying from the operational heads, or for that matter, the business heads, the senior management? So do we need to take them into a lot of confidence? Because it so happens that IT is always considered as an expense. So if you go to CFO, hope nobody CFO is here. So if you go to any CFO and you take a proposal, and you are immediately thrown out of his office, saying that no, you are spending too much time, too much money, you wouldn't get anything. So according to you, what is the role, or how do we handle the situation wherein we should get the buying from senior management?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, first of all, that blueprint itself plays major role to convince it, because that is a gap list and we are not spending money while study or creating the blueprint. Post that, actually, we have a forum called as management review meeting, which every CTO, CIO should have, and he should be a member of that forum. So in that forum, we present what are the business benefit we are going to achieve, what is the ROI of this investment, and if we automate, how it is going to optimize your manpower, your resources, and your production processes, your delivery time. So if they got convinced, now for example, we have recently implemented around 3-4 projects, which is more related to digitalization or plant automation. For example, we have implemented WMS, which is a warehouse management system, but it's not only warehouse management system, because we are in precious metal. So every gram or loss of every gram in our inventory cost us around 90,000 to 1 lakh rupees.
Yeah, correct.
So how to do? Is it really possible to physically count all these material? Is there any chances of pilferages? To avoid that, then we integrated that WMS with weighing scale. Then we also integrated that with your QR code scanner. Then again, we've just understand what is the process, how customer and supplier relationship get maintained, how if there is any pilferage happen, how that weighment of that precious metal is getting done. Then we also implemented webcam to that. Oh. So that webcam is a evidence that whenever weighing is happening, whenever actual physical weighment is happening, it is taking the recording of that. And that recording clip become evidence between the customer and our supply chain team actually. So any digitalization is depend on what processes or legacy is there in the system. That legacy need to be challenged by adopting the new and the latest technology in the system. And if we work out properly with the ROI, maybe tangible and non-tangible benefits, whether it is CFO or CEO or MD, they will be behind IT to implement that. Yes. So our theme was, earlier IT used to be a service department, then it became enabler. But if you ask me today, we are playing a driver role.
Yeah, correct.
And most of the meetings, engagement is more with IT rather than other departments. I mean, you take the example from security till you can say dispatches. Even after that, the integration of the logistic team, everything is with IT.
Correct.
So it's a matter of perception, and when we show that, the facts in terms of business benefit, ROI, and all these things, which we should know in advance before we start implementation, buying will be there from the management.
Good to hear that, and I fully agree that on the point that earlier it was a service department. I remember when I started my career, it was called as computer services department, and later on we, with great difficulty, managed to change the title to information technology. So that's how it. At the same time, Jayant, you rightly said that we need to give a cost-benefit analysis to management and prove and convince them that whatever amount we will be spending, it will reap the benefits. This takes me to my personal example. Sorry to take some more time on this. Even at the home front, if I have to spend any rupee, I have to convince my my finance minister and the home minister, everything all in role one, and to convince her that whatever I'm spending, it will reap the benefits, and that will be the cost-benefit analysis. Unless I am unable to prove that, I don't get the approvals. So that, I think everyone in this room must be witnessing that. So let us move to Ajitt. Ajitt, the same question to you. according to you, what are the steps or what are your views that an IT leader should take to bridge the gap between the shop floor and the cloud situation?
Uh, yeah, thanks. So I think you are briefly introduced me. So currently I'm CIO and the IT lead, IT head for VIP industry, but I had a past experience in the consulting, IT consulting also, where I used to implement a solution, and I've been the advisory for a lot of manufacturing organization in India and abroad also. And then later I decided to move the career to this IT head kind of the role as a part, and from the last 10 years I'm playing that role. So the starting point will be definitely a IT strategic roadmap or a digital transformation journey for the organization, and that can become your plan for your annual operating plan for the organization also. Because nowadays there's no point in talking digitization is required or not required. It is a need of time. Okay.
No choice.
So no choice, and every organization has understood very clearly. Okay. Only point is where in this particular roadmap where you are. Okay. And that is a point where the IT leader needs to play a job, where the maturity of the organization is also need to consider while developing a roadmap or prioritizing the initiatives with respect to digitization. So definitely a roadmap, foundation of the roadmap at the start of their year, where the budgeting exercise happens for any organization, where IT budgets and everything got allocated. And number of the key initiatives where the pain areas, business discussion with all the key stakeholders. And some discussion comes from them, because generally they are facing a lot of challenges with their day-to-day operations, and they have a business strategy in place. At the same time, from the IT perspective, because we have been the veteran in the industry and we understand what is not from this industry, but from the peer industries also, competitors also. But at the same time, though we represent a CPG, but what engineering industry is doing good, or automobile industry is good. So anyhow, IT is a horizontal as such, so the process can be taken upon, and based on the recommendation can happen, okay, this is good for the organization, and this can be and initiatives can be rolled out. So taking a buy-in at that stage with the key stakeholders. Ultimately, it's not an IT project. Everybody knows in nowadays, it is going to be a business project, and if the business value is there, and we have to go to that level where the change has to be translated to the business value, business people. And then if that buy-in is there, I think the rolling out the initiative just becomes a project plan or project management kind of the activity. So that is how generally I take an initiative with the IT within the organization, and rightly Jayant said, now it is not a back-end function, it is a driving function for the organization. And this need has come very clearly, and then management and the board members also identified that yes, without, there's no point in talking as such. So I think that's how we have to take this.
Yes, very much true. Thanks, Ajitt. So immediately the next question that comes to my mind is, nowadays we have seen the various cloud offerings and the cloud service providers. There are too many in the market now. Everybody has its plus points, negative points, and that's what we try to reach, and what is the best suitable for our industry, we adopt that.
Right.
So according to you, what should be the best, it cannot be a 100% right solution, but according to you, what is the best model that a manufacturing industry, for that matter, should take it from the cloud service providers, whether it is a kind of platform as a service or any other thing? So it all depends on the business scenario. I do agree with that, but what are your views on that?
So definitely it should be the hybrid model that will work for any organization. Typically what happens to ERPs or SAPs kind of ERPs kind of, this already on the on-premise model, which is already running for organization. Okay, and if you are, and that is a fundamental question, I think that I think within this forum also and outside this forum, ERP stabilization itself takes a lot of time. And if you ask me, because I was implementing the ERP SAPs for the world, and then I'm now the other side of the world. So ERP adoption in India and outside also is not to that level where the design has happened. Okay. So if that has to be taken care, I think 60 to 70% of digitalization initiatives already taken care. Less than connecting to the vendor, connecting to the supplier, connecting to the customers, and then if you are in the kind of the business where the distributions are there, so warehouse management, transportation, all that becomes need of it is required from the digitization perspective. So cloud basically works very effectively and efficiently. There's no second thought on that. Immediate deployment is definitely an advantage for the cloud, where everything is taken care. So what personally I have seen ERPs on the on-premise and the other application, which typically I call as a peripheral applications, because ERP becomes the core for the digitization. Right. And the peripheral application can go on the cloud, and that model can be quickly adapted and deployable. That's all.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your wisdom. No, so having understood the linkage between the shop floor and the cloud offerings, now the next question that comes to my mind is, how do we benefit or how do we ripe the benefits of cloud? So cloud has a very, very innovative kind of offerings. So it's just not the compute power that is available on the cloud. Apart from that, we can have a number of benefits from the cloud. So one benefit that comes to my mind is that is about analytical capability and also the innovation part. So Jayant, the next question to you, how we can link the compute facility and the innovation or analytical capability of the cloud for our benefit, for our shop floor requirements?
Well, see, actually, the most important benefit of cloud, what I understood, is the scalability. Because your business is dynamic, your requirements are dynamic. Sometimes you don't know what peak level load will be there on the system. So every time scaling up your hardware or migrating from one hardware to another hardware or changing the infrastructure, upgrading your data center is a challenge to any IT head, any CTO or CIO in the community. So cloud help us definitely that you need not to worry about infrastructure part. Yeah. What you need to look at, as you rightly said, one is the analytical data. Second is, many times now as the shop floor is tightly getting integrated with the ERP system, lot of data need to flow from machine to your ERP system, and there is a staging. Yes. Lot of data get first stored in the MES system, then at hourly basis or batch mode basis it get transferred to that. Same is with analytics also. So how many hits are going to be there when we are extracting or pulling the data from standard ERP to the business analytics? That many times you cannot even predict or you cannot analyze. So cloud is a backbone, it's no longer choice. What typically we need to follow, or what we are following, is we need to categorize. While linking to the cloud, what is important for you? When I say category, we have to classify your data or applications. Which applications you feel is important to be on cloud, which are very critical and has to be close to the business, because you cannot afford to have downtime. Correct. If something goes wrong in terms of connectivity, internet link or anything. And third is storage and analytical tool. Yes. Where, one example, we have around 2,000 cameras in our shop floor. Oh. Now, every camera, there is a EHS compliance rules and regulations. Correct. Being a precious metal and you can say the pharmaceutical-oriented products. So, role of that camera is not only surveillance. Correct. It also takes care of the compliances, whether that guy had wear the helmet or not, apron, shoes. So, whatever, there are 8 to 9 different compliances. That all compliances get captured through the FR camera. That get analyzed through the video analytics from the cloud. Correct. And within few seconds, data should come back to us. Is there any irregularities? Is there any non-compliance? That notification immediately goes to the safety team. That safety team has to immediately take action on that. Now, this is possible because data is continuously getting recorded and getting stored on the cloud. Yeah. So, cloud is the backbone. Correct. But wherever we have planned automation kind of initiatives where my machines are tightly integrated with the PLC automation and data is getting transferred, that data may not be required on cloud. Yes. So what we have really done is we categorized our application, which are very sensitive in terms of R&D application. We don't allow to put on cloud. But CRM, then you can say the DMS, yes, document management system, and analytical data, BI and that kind of tool. These are on cloud. So it's definitely a business decision which application to be on cloud and which not. And we have to do the business benefit analysis of that. Right, correct.
This reminds me of the fact that before 15 years or so, if any application has to be moved to cloud, there always used to be a question in our minds, we as IT leaders and also the CFOs, whether my data will be secure. So why to go to cloud? That was the question that used to come in every IT leader's mind. But now the situation has changed and the same statement can be reversed. And instead of saying why to go to cloud, nowadays the IT leaders and senior management are saying why not to go to cloud. So that is the difference that we are witnessing. Same question comes to Ajitt, you also. Uh, as far as the innovation and analytical capabilities are concerned, so how much you foresee you give weightage in your industry as to how we can benefit from the cloud offerings and its capabilities?
So let us consider cloud is only a platform, okay. So it has nothing to do with the innovation or something like that. It's a platform which is given, and innovation is a basic thing where you are doing things differently, okay. And definition of the innovation varies from companies to
Correct.
company, okay. It can be a benchmarking level or at a simple process change or simple product change or something like that can also become an innovation, which is adding value to the business at the end of the day. Okay, I have a particular way of working, and if I am doing differently, that is again becomes an innovation. Maybe the incremental, people call it as a process change or people call it as a re-engineering exercise, but at the end of the day, it is different way of working altogether, and that becomes a process for the organization in the long term. Okay, so what essentially we are doing as things differently. Okay, when you are doing the things differently, the data capturing mechanism becomes differently. Okay, because it's a process change, and once the data capturing mechanism becomes differently, so data extraction, data capturing, extraction, storage, and then putting somewhere in the cloud, somewhere in the server or whatever we talk about. So that is how the whole process change is happening. And from the IT perspective, at the end of the day, data becoming critical for each and every transaction. What you talk about, either you receive data from the consumer or from the shop floor, from the machine, from social media, whatever we talk about, and then putting, consolidating, and getting the benefit from the cloud technologies, that becomes a key now. So whether innovation is directly related to cloud, there is no direct answer. Basically, cloud is a platform of the technology, and innovation is a process by itself, because it adds competitive advantage to the business. Okay. So if I am producing a product and then I am adding some innovation, it is adding cost to that, and then customer is ready to pay for that. So these are the different things where it provides a competitive advantage, and definitely technologies are there to support that kind of the innovation. So I see basically business value to any IT deployment, any IT innovation or any innovation basically, and then it should whether to adapt to cloud technology or whether you can do in existing landscape itself. A lot of possibilities are there. So that decision is again a question mark which has to be discussed with the business. And finally it should solve the business problem. What you are solving for is at the end of the day, that is important. Whether to do in cloud, whether to do on-premise, or whether to do with the existing platform, that's a call. It's a situation and it case to case basically. That's what I see.
Thank you so much. Nice to hear about.
And obviously analytics, and this one is finally it is the data. What depth you wanted to go, like the skill, and then where we want to reach. Right. It's an endless journey basically, because we are doing some e-com initiatives, e-commerce, we are doing a big way as such, and then we are working on some web scraping solutions as such. So where we are, when my products are placed on the Flipkart or the Amazon, and then I'm just analyzing the competitor products basically in the similar range with the image to image capturing, and then my bag or Samsonite bag or competitor bag, basically I'm taking the name, sorry. So the competitor bag basically it's image to image comparison, and then what is the pricing they are offering, whether a discount they are offering, that is coming from the web scraping solution with the AI and ML. So that kind of the analysis, and there is no end to that. There is no end to that. So that's why it's a maturity where we are, where you have the right skill in the organization to adapt that kind of the maturity. Are we building the capability or ecosystem accordingly? That takes a call. And finally, cloud is the option which is easily available, scalable, deployable, and that advantage one should take that.
Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. And let me cite an example in our organization. It has been 2 years now that we have moved our applications to the cloud. And within last 2 years, there has not been a single minute. Minute is a too long time, I can say. There has not been even 10, 15 seconds downtime for our cloud. Yeah. And with this, we were able to concentrate ourselves on various other activities. Otherwise, earlier, IT people had to waste n number of hours in just maintaining the infrastructure. So that time is saved, and we are able to concentrate on more core activities and help the business to give certain ideas, give certain thoughts, proofs, and how we can automate the processes, how we can reduce the number of steps in operation. So that has been achieved in our industry. So after the 30-minute discussion, I can come to a conclusion that yes, we as IT leaders will be able to establish the linkage between our shop floor machines and the cloud And yes, that is the need of the hour, I can say. And with this, we will be able to add value to the business. And in any manufacturing industry, according to me, how and how much value you add to the business by way of manufacturing excellence, reducing the number of steps in your operation, reducing the number of hours, and how much time you are adding to the business. So that matters a lot. And if you are able to convince and prove your management about it, nothing will stop you at the moment. So with this, I will like to conclude, and I would like to thank Ajitt and also Jayant for contributing their views on this very interesting topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajeev.
Thanks.